Hello there, everyone. My name is Reggie Goodday, and if you're new here, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much. Yeah, so today we're going to look at Ireland through the 1980s, from 1980 to 1990, I suppose. Um, there's this channel called Old Ireland Restored, and it's basically some news stories from Ireland through the decades, which is really good. I watched some of these videos, some of his videos on my last video to do with drinking habits of Ireland between 1970 and 1980. You should go check out that video, it's really good. It's a lot of fun. But in this video, we are going to be looking at just regular life in Ireland. And I'm going to try and explain some stuff because yeah, I learned a lot about it in history class and that. I actually grew up in the 90s, so, but that might be the decade we do next, because that makes sense. But, I loved history at school, so I know a lot about this stuff. So we're going to watch some of the videos kind of like this because, the grade, like the grade of the video isn't great, and, I don't want you to kind of. Well, I suppose we could go full screen for a laugh, just to see what happens. And a lot of the stuff is cut out then, but then sure, look at what can you do. Um. So, massive potholes on Irish roads in 1980. Yes, this was a big thing back in the 80s, 90. Well, back in Ireland, really. Um there were potholes everywhere in Ireland, and we really needed to do something about it. And it wasn't until the 2000s, when we did. Ireland basically got a loan from Germany of €1 billion, and with that we built our roads, we built our motorways and everything like that. It was really good, and even when the financial crash happened in 2008, a lot of people were still employed in Ireland. It kind of actually helped us get through the financial crash because um, a lot of the workers, they still had work to do. And yeah, so it helped a lot. And I could get more into that in another video, and I probably will. But yeah, I think I have talked about that before. Sure, but we're going to look at the border with Northern Ireland and all of that, and like Northern Ireland used to have the best roads, and then we used to have bad roads, and now we have the best roads, and Northern Ireland's roads are kind of going potty. There's a recent news report on it recently. But yeah, it's funny how it's just switched around now. But yeah, we're going to watch this. So that's kind of my small intro. We're going to watch some just videos talk about life in Ireland.
We adore it. We pamper it. It's a jewel.
Rolls Royce.
When it glides along, the road should match its splendour. But splendour is a far cry from most Irish roads.
Oh God. There's still some rural roads like this, actually. But it's only when they fixed them they realise actually the accidents went down dramatically.
Is spreading fast. Faster than the surgeon's knife can cut.
There's the boys doing up the road. Oh God. Lord. But see, that's the lorries. That's the big lorries going through these areas where they shouldn't be going through. There should be zonal areas where lorries can't go through. If that makes sense.
Over the road,
barely got over that bridge.
No respect. It's got to the stage now when a journey through Ireland promises all the dangers and excitement of a hurricane at sea. Problem.
So I should kind of say, to get to Donegal from Dublin, let's say, or Dublin to Donegal, On the old roads, it would take about 5 or 6 hours. Be mental like that. Now it takes half that time. Really does. It takes half that time. Going to Galway, I've gone from like Dublin to Galway and back again. It took 3 hours. Like, that's what the new motorway is. It's really good.
With Irish roads is obvious.
Yeah, and now it's like that in Northern Ireland.
We're talking about an asset.
It was like at a point where like my dad would know where all the potholes were going through Northern Ireland, and you know how to avoid them. Like, it's crazy.
An asset of the nation, which we value at £10,000 million.
10,000
that
million.
particular asset is at risk. We're talking to
They're savage Irish.
about those roads as being the arteries of the country, serving agriculture, industry, commerce, tourism. Every aspect of national life would be affected adversely.
A year ago, the government produced this plan for our roads in the 80s. Tonight, we ask, is it enough to cure them? Complaining about them, well, that's become a national pastime. Some people have suggested painting white lines around Irish potholes so as to warn the innocent traveller. Others simply despair. No matter where you're from or what you do, you've surely asked the question in recent years, what's happened to Irish roads? What's happened is roads have got really bad since 1970. Then only 1 mile and 20 was bad. By 1978, however, that had jumped to 1 mile and 5 in bad order.
So again, it's the government. I think there was kind of a recession in the 70s in Ireland, and it was the government not spending money on the roads. Basically, it's not. You have to have money going into maintaining the roads.
The disease
really do.
is everywhere. The running
They redo
sore
my road every
has
5 years.
reached as far as the gates of Leinster House itself.
But Jesus, Leinster House.
The condition of the road surface in Ireland is
Hasn't
a
changed,
matter
it's
of
exactly
very
the
grave
same.
concern at present. The last 2 winters have seen a very marked deterioration in the condition of the roads. If you go back
Except the gates are all
about
closed now.
5 years ago, you'll find that according to a report prepared by An Foras Forbartha, about 1 mile in every 20 was deficient in terms of the road surface. But after 2 relatively severe winters in roads terms, today about 1 mile in every 5 of our national primary routes is in some way deficient.
The chief culprit,
It's lorries. That's what I was saying.
the juggernaut. Where a road is not wide enough, it widens it. If it's too weak, it breaks its back. We are asking out-of-date roads to do a modern job.
Yeah.
A bridge like this one is a lorry driver's nightmare.
But the lorry shouldn't be going through that bridge.
Totally unsuited for the heavy traffic it has to carry,
Is that,
and there are many of them dotted along the main roads of Ireland. Even more dangerous, the fast stretches with bad surfaces, accident black spots.
Yeah.
1 accident in 6 in this country is caused by bad roads. Swords Village, chief
Swords.
bottleneck on the main Dublin to Belfast
I knew I recognised this. I knew I recognised it.
route.
That's not far from where I
Factory
am.
delivery tract. Time costs money. And more delays at Naas, the gateway to the south.
Yeah.
The main street, a day-long traffic jam. This game of bumper cars can
God.
have a tragic ending.
Poor lad.
Our roads, especially our main roads, have been
There's a
asked to
Ford
do too much
Escort in there.
too soon. A very small number of our roads take the greatest dose of punishment. In fact, 1 in 10 carries half the nation's traffic. It's
Wow.
that small number of roads, the national primary and secondary routes, and the city's roads that are beginning to show the signs of wear and tear.
Okay, like I said, we did figure out the whole road system. I think in the 80s actually there was stuff done. There was kind of new roads put in and all of that. But again, as I say, we fixed the roads. That we do maintain the roads now, and So this is the housing crisis in Ireland in 1980. And there's a housing crisis again here in Ireland in 2025. But the government is building new houses and that. And there's a rake of new houses going up around my hometown. It's great to see, because there's just like abandoned places that were just abandoned for decades. And all of a sudden they built up a housing estate. It's great to see. And there's loads of new families moving in. And everything, so yeah.
Road, the modern frontier of an age-old conflict, the conflict between landlord and tenant. Tonight, we look at Ireland's uncontrolled flats, where most tenants live and where the conflict's at its worst. Many of them are tucked away in streets like this. Built for the Edwardian middle classes, these terraces still radiate a certain charm.
A lot of them are abandoned now.
But behind the facade, things are different.
There's in Drogheda, Loud, there's just, I counted one time, I was walking around Drogheda, and I counted one time a row of houses, and there was 8 houses just abandoned. And it's only now recently that the government has taken them over and doing them up as flats, because they're that old and expensive that nobody can afford to buy them. So
the facts are hidden. The backside of flatland isn't pretty. The reality is often a hodgepodge of converted outhouses, a maze of partitioned rooms. The very smallest space fetches a price, £8 a week for this end of a landing. It can't even be called a room.
it hasn't changed. It hasn't
The
changed.
Angelus bells ring out over Cork. And under the shadow of Shandon's steeple, some of her
things did get better in the 90s. The 90s were great, and in the 90s, but there is a housing crisis now. Rent in Dublin is just absolutely crazy, and Dublin people say, "Oh, the country's going to ruin." No, it's just Dublin. The rest of the country's fine. It's just Dublin, and Dublin people don't want to leave Dublin. They just don't. And I think that's what the problem is. If they actually left Dublin and moved out to the rest of the country, they would find affordable housing. They would, but they don't want to move. That's the problem.
Children eke out a harsh living.
There's a lot more to it, but
on Leitrim Street.
that's what I think.
Judging by the washing out front, this is a fairly full house.
Get your hands off my
In
knickers!
fact, 20 people live inside in 5 small flats. And what's it like in there?
What are you doing? Oh my god.
Well, if the front garden's anything to go by, not much.
Ugh. I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Let's look inside. Instead of a doormat, rotten floorboards.
Yeah, there's still houses like this in Ireland. So there is. I should go closer to the camera, sorry.
These are the only bathroom facilities for 17 people living upstairs. And the toilet doesn't even flush.
Oh god, all the mould. Oh, don't show us inside the toilet.
The 17 who rely on that toilet. 4 families packed into a single room apiece.
Oh,
Their
poor
gas
sods.
was cut off at the
Wonder
end
where
of
they are
January.
now.
Then the
Gas
city
is turned
sheriff
off.
served an eviction notice. Rather than pay their £160 a month, they went on rent strike. It lasted 6 months. The reason? No shower in the bathroom.
He took that away and he said he was getting us another one, So he never got it. And
How long have you been without it?
Slumlords. Laws against that now.
So what's it been like living without being able to wash in your own house?
It's terrible,
Why do you think the landlord wants to evict you?
Because we asked the landlord to do some repairs, which he wouldn't do, so we stopped paying rent. And the only way that he can get us out is by getting us evicted. So we won't pay rent because the simple fact is that it's a slum. We went to the TD, and he said that he knows all about this place, and it's a slum place.
TD is an Irish minister.
What did you want done? What kind of jobs did you want done?
I wanted the shore put back in the first place. Proper sanitary arrangements, and he just didn't care about it. Like, you know, he just ignored everything that we requested. And
Nothing in law prevents their landlord from letting 5 Ladyswell Place. But why were these parents forced to rear children in such poor conditions?
This is the only place we can get, so this is where we'll have to stay.
Tell me, you mean when landlords find out that you're married or when you have a
Once
child?
you're married and you have a child, you're shut down. There's no way.
We were looking for a place when I was about 8 months pregnant, you know, and we went up to this place and he was giving it to my husband. He was giving him the flat. He told him to come up tomorrow night. So we went up the following night, and when he saw me, he said it to me, and he said, sorry, no children allowed.
How high will you pay to get another flat?
I'd go about £15 to £16, but it doesn't matter really how much you're going to pay because you still won't be allowed into a private flat with babies. There's no way they'll take you in.
Within a day of us filming their plight, Cork Corporation rehoused these families.
Good.
Putting them out on the street was the only other option.
Jeez.
Most were way down the housing list. Officials told
So
us
this is
their
in
corporation
Cork.
bylaws were being broken, but they could do nothing about it.
Cork isn't too bad
The
now.
house is in line for demolition. In the meantime, it could be let again.
Ranelagh, Dublin 6, the flat
Unreal.
hunter's mecca. 2 factors have tipped the scales against that flat hunter. The arrival of hordes of school leavers in the cities and the growing backlog of unhoused newlyweds. Now, the number of flats available...
Hi guys, this is a quick reminder from me, Reggie Goodday, to remind you to like and subscribe to help out the channel. Thanks very much.
for those fast-growing groups.
Sorry, I had to stop the video and start it again because if you let it too long, I noticed that the sound goes out of sync. So that's what the freeze was there.
Is inadequate. Private supply has been overtaken by public need. The landlords...
Like every now and again I take a drink of my water and you don't want to watch me do that, so it's fine.
...find themselves on top of a seller's market. And as for the many tenants chasing the few flats, well, they just have to take what's going.
Okay, so we've taken a look at the roads in Ireland and housing in Ireland. Now we're taking a look at 1983 smuggling products across the border from like Northern Ireland into Republic of Ireland, and stuff like this would have been like everything basically. So because sometimes stuff was cheaper in Northern Ireland. Sometimes you could only get reproductive things. Let's just say in Northern Ireland because they were banned in the Republic, and if the guards caught you, then they would take them off you and find them, like the pill and stuff. There was, a big protest done about that to legalise the pill, and of course the Catholic Church was against that, but no. And but it's thank God the border is just gone now, and it's a lot. Life is a lot better in Ireland because of it.
Business, but to the men of the Irish Customs Force patrolling the...
Like I should explain, there's still an invisible border. Like Northern Ireland has different laws to the Republic of Ireland, but but anyway.
Border for smugglers is a daily grind, searching for hauls of smuggled liquor, hi-fi, petrol, even livestock.
Yeah, because people would steal livestock. Or try and,
This is today's special patrol.
People would try and, farmers would buy livestock and try not pay the tax on it, you know what I mean?
Scouring the southern edge of the border, hunting along the network of country roads, and combing the farmland and buildings for sign of smuggling. But despite their efforts, they know they're fighting an uphill battle. Here, smuggling has always been rife.
Smuggling's a way of life here. I would compare smuggling here to football supporting Liverpool. Since the first custom man went on here, I would say the same day the first smuggler went on.
Ranger to our 7-1, can you read
the
me over?
size of the radio.
That's okay. We're just in here now on the border point. Everything looks quiet, but there is quite an amount of fresh tracks. But the ground conditions are very, very wet.
During the war, when petrol was very scarce, bicycles, everybody used bicycles. And there's one man who's particularly known for smuggling, and he used to always come across with a big bicycle and a big bag on the back of it. And the custom men always said...
Oh, so this is from the BBC. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. This is from the BBC archives. So yeah.
Searched them. They could find nothing. So when the custom man retired, he approached this man one day in a bar and he said to him, "Tell me something, what were you really smuggling? Because I know you were smuggling. Every day when you went across with that bicycle and the big bag in the back, you had something, we couldn't find it. What was it?"
Bicycles.
He said, "I was smuggling bicycles." It was as simple as that.
There's also a similar story of wheelbarrows. Like a guy would be, every day he would go across the border with a wheelbarrow full of grass. And he was like, "What?" And they'd check the wheelbarrow and everything, and there'd be nothing in it. And then eventually he would, like, when the guard retired, he'd ask, "What were you smuggling?" And he said, "Wheelbarrows." So there's always like a similar story to that that goes around Ireland, like wheelbarrows or bicycles or something like that. Like, yeah, it was it's just a funny joke.
And this is the latest smuggling commodity, petrol.
Petrol,
the difference in price between northern petrol and southern petrol can be as much as 90 pence a gallon.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, this garage, which straddles the border but stands officially in Northern Ireland, is very popular among drivers travelling south.
This is...
And the owners recognise the southern trade. As well as charging in British pounds, they have one pump that reads Southern Irish punts.
Yeah.
In fact, demand is so high, they're having to buy another pump. But the forecourt of this garage across the border in the south is desperately empty. You won't catch them publicising their prices.
It's the other way around now. Petrol in the Republic is cheaper than Northern Ireland. Except for kerosene. Kerosene sometimes cheaper. Coal is cheaper in Northern Ireland. It just depends, you know. Just depends on the deal.
Because they're not very enticing. Petrol here is about 90 pence dearer. Even the pump attendants drive across the border to the north to fill their car tanks. The price difference between north and south is even greater when it comes to having a drink. Up to £5 difference on a bottle of whiskey. This off-licence is in one of the main streets in Strabane in the north. Business has...
Yeah, I will. I'll say that too. Like, you can buy... I mean, I can get beer. I can get a 20 bottles of beer for €22, you know. But at Christmas time, Northern Ireland shops will do buy one, get one free. So you could get like 40 bottles of beer for £20, and it'd be like, €25 or whatever. So yeah, I go up the north, I go to Asda or what do you call it? Smith, or anyway, I go to one of the shops and I get the deal. Sure, why wouldn't I?
Never been better. More and more customers are making a pilgrimage here from the south.
Yeah.
And the shop's owner knows that many a pilgrim returns home with more in his car boot than the customs limit of 2 bottles per person.
That's ridiculous, 2 bottles per person.
What? People doing that sort of thing, all right.
That's
personally,
ridiculous.
my own view is, why not? I don't ask questions, I just sell the stuff, you know, and that's it.
But every bottle or case sold here spells disaster for pubs and off-licences in the south. Because of the prohibited...
No, I'm sorry, but who do you think's buying them? Who do you think's buying them at that? The pubs and off-licence are. And bringing them down.
Taxes which force up the prices of liquor, pubs are emptying. In a desperate bid for survival, ironically, many publicans find they're forced to buy liquor smuggled to them from Northern Ireland. They can't sell it any cheaper, but the profit keeps them going through the lean times.
While we don't condone the purchase of smuggled liquor by our members.
You have to remember too, now Ireland produces so much alcohol, we actually export 90% of the alcohol we make, like beer and spirits and all of that. That's why alcohol in the shop is really cheap. It is really cheap, in fairness. Alcohol in the pubs are dear for various reasons, for rent and stuff, but yeah.
We do recognise that, as I've already said, it is quite often the case of survival as against going to the war. But you can't really criticise somebody who accepts a loaf of bread when hungry, despite the fact that that loaf of bread may have been stolen. The problem is to ensure that he's not hungry. The problem in the smuggling of spirits is that the publicans, some of them, feel compelled to purchase this stuff in order to survive.
Again, so this is like an old world problem, an old Ireland problem that Ireland had, and it's a problem that we've actually sorted out since, if that makes sense.
In fact, smuggling is such a thriving business round here that they've even named the local pub, which straddles the borderline, after the trade. The locals here say there are 3 types of smuggler. It starts with the ordinary shopper, who probably brings just a little more back across the border than he should. Then there's the small-time businessman, who supplements his income with the profit from cases and crates brought over. And then there's the much more sophisticated and well-organised syndicate, or family as they're known, and they pay other people to take the risks and make the runs for them.
Ooh, we're getting into it now,
These
lads.
men operate one of the 8 big syndicates which rule the 280 miles of border territory. Here in South Armagh, one of the hotbeds of IRA activity, the smugglers prepare to ferry a lorry load of liquor across the border.
That's how the IRA funded themselves
Their
by
contempt
doing
of
this.
the customs patrol is matched only by their thorough organisation. Up to 3 scout cars equipped with CB radios patrol the intended route and warn the oncoming smuggler's truck of any snooping customs men.
Oh my God.
Customs about. How's the coast road? How's it doing?
Sounds like being decent.
There was 2 patrol cars out there this morning.
The syndicate always operate at night under cover of darkness, but they came out into the open to show us their system.
So do a little
And using empty crates and boxes, demonstrated how they can take a truckload worth about £80,000 over the border. There are many roads where any car would be stopped at a customs point, but equally there are others, well known to the smugglers, with no fixed customs check at all. Would either of you do any other job?
Not really, no.
No. We've no need to work anymore, because no need to work once this is going, because this is a handy job. It only takes a short while to do the run altogether, maybe a half an hour altogether to do the run, and it's handy, ready money, all just in cash in a very short time, you know.
And it's a lot of money. You must make a good living.
Yeah, it's a good living.
It's a living actually for us. You know.
It's just like a
it's
job.
Our daily life, same as your job. We have our living to make of it too, you know.
I don't make £25,000 in one run, though.
Well,
what happens to that money? Is it sheer profit?
Oh yeah, no, it's tax-free.
It's
And how many people would you have to pay?
You would basically there could be 3,000 to 5,000 expenses on.
You're about 6 people roughly, around about 6 or 8.
Why are you admitting this?
We work in a syndicate, you know. We all share the profits.
You make it sound very easy. You must have problems with the customs and with the army.
Well, the army don't really bother. The army doesn't seem to interfere. Like what we're doing, it's not illegal in Northern Ireland, but with the customs in Southern Ireland, we've ways to get around them. Like,
what ways?
Oh well, sometimes it takes money. Like,
so you do actually bribe them sometimes.
at times, yeah. At times it just become necessary to bribe them. Again, there are some who will take money.
To just bribe them.
The customs officers and spokesmen deeply resent the suggestion that they're doing anything other than their best to control the problem. And far from profiting themselves, they often suffer as a result of their jobs. One customs man had his house windows smashed in, and another lost a leg after a violent confrontation with smugglers.
Oh my God.
They have an appreciable problem, but they cope very well with it. They're very conscientious and hard-working men, and they do a good job.
What do you say about the allegations that some people make that your men do sometimes take bribes and let things through?
I'd be horrified if I thought there was any truth in it. 34 years of association with customs, I have never experienced one occasion when a bribe has been accepted by a customs officer.
But the smugglers don't have it
They definitely took bribes. they definitely took bribes.
all their own way. These are just a few of the vehicles impounded by Irish Customs in the last few months at just one customs station. They range from small private cars to much bigger vans and lorries, specially equipped with secret compartments. This van for sheep or pigs was being chased along an unapproved road by the customs men. When they stopped it and demanded to look inside, they naturally thought there would be contraband in this compartment, but it was empty. Then the customs man noticed that the van seemed to be smaller on the inside than on the outside, so he took another look. Behind here, you'd think, would be the driver's cab. But it's a large secret compartment, and inside there were 68 crates of alcohol.
Oh my God. That's
But despite
awesome.
these successes and the official confidence, the men on the ground and their trade unions do not share the optimistic view that they're winning the smuggling war. They don't consider their activities a crime, or rather they see the levels of taxation in Southern Ireland a greater one. They consider themselves modern-day Robin Hoods, but instead of robbing the rich to give to the poor, they rob the state and pocket the profits.
Okay, guys, so that was the border. This is now travellers and travellers and what? Travellers basically clashing with locals and the guards, the police and stuff. This is 1984.
Following the arrests yesterday
23-minute
afternoon
video.
here at the Tala bypass, a number of the itinerant families moved to the side of the road to make way for the traffic, attempted to block the road again this morning.
I should say, like, this was a thing, like, when I was growing up in Ireland, travellers would travel around town to town looking for work and basically stuff, and they would park their caravans wherever they could, and yeah, they kind of be a nuisance, really. This isn't really a thing anymore. A lot of travellers are settled now in houses, so yeah, at the modern world, it's just, you know, more convenient and stuff.
However, within minutes, Gardaí from the local station were on the scene to keep the road open. For the past few days, the Gardaí have been forced to draft in more members from neighbouring areas to deal with the problem. This morning, the families at the side of the pass were in an uncompromising mood, and they said they would continue to attempt to block the road.
Well, the guards come here yesterday morning and the inspector said they pull the caravans one side, the cars only go down there 10 miles an hour, and now the cars are going down there about 70, 60 miles an hour.
Because you're not supposed to be parked there.
If the cars don't go easy, we're going to keep breaking up every car goes down there. We'll keep breaking up the cars.
You're going to keep breaking the cars?
Yes, the windies out cars are there.
But why?
They won't take it easy. The guy holds that guarantee what to take it easy.
So he's going to break the windows of the cars that are going too fast. But in fairness, this should not be parked there. It's the side of a road. They're not supposed to be parked there.
The inspector holds that guarantee. Cars go down there 10 miles an hour. But what are they going to go 50, 60, 70 miles an hour? And we want to stay here till we get a place to move. To go to.
Meanwhile, residents groups in a 7 to 8 mile radius around Tala are now mounting 24-hour watches to make sure itinerant families move from the bypass don't move into their area. One resident, Richie O'Reilly from Springmount, told me why they were doing this.
Well, the main purpose of the 24-hour watch is to ensure that our green spaces are safeguarded and there's no travelling families moving on them. Now the people in Tala...
Sorry, I'll just show you. That is something comb over. Like, just give it up, lad. That's the way men used to have their hair back in the day. They should have just shaved their heads, like, you know, but they didn't. They'd have this massive comb over that looked ridiculous. But anyway, sorry.
Are not out against the itinerants as such, which the media is saying. The reason they've taken to the roads is that it's against Dublin Corporation, Dublin County Council, and our elected representatives in Dáil Éireann, who for the last 12 years have just palmed us off week after week, year after year, promises, and have done nothing regards the itinerant problem in Tallaght.
Not far away, other residents who didn't want to be identified explained some of their tactics.
We're at the entrance to Kilnamanagh estate here. Why have you got planks like this with nails in them?
As a deterrent against the travelling people. As of yesterday, they forced their way in here. They drove up on the footpaths, and one man had to physically throw himself in front of their transit van in order to stop it, and another car then stopped it as well.
But do you not think that with weapons like this, somebody could get seriously hurt?
It's not to be used as a weapon. It's only to be thrown under the wheels if they actually force their way in, not as a weapon. You haven't actually seen that being used
here. No, I
here.
accept that.
It's only a deterrent, and as a last resort if it comes to that.
But you will throw them under the car.
Why are there so many kids around? Like, I understand with the travellers, they have their kids, but why do these guys have their kids around them? Like, did the kids just see the cameras and just
under the wheels, if necessary, just to puncture. That's all. No physical force other than that is to be used.
Hi guys, just a quick little reminder to like and subscribe to the video if you're enjoying it. Thank you very much. Okay, so we saw a bit of travellers there. We will get back to the travellers now in a couple of videos time. But I'm kind of just going through the decade, like I'm doing at least one video from every year of 1980. So we're at 1986 now. The previous video was 1985. We're at Collins Street in Dublin in 1986, sorry. And we're going to see how much the city has changed. Like but we'll see what.
More than just the main street of Dublin, or even its commercial centre. The street, in fact, symbolises the capital city. It's a mixture of history and modern development.
1916 changed O'Connell Street totally. Ironically, PO, which suffered most of the damage during the fighting, in fact is one of the few buildings which survives today from that period. The very look of this building reminds us of the essentially classical past of what was then Sackville Street.
Dramatic music kicking in. I hope I don't get copywritten. It sounds like classical music anyway, so I'm sure I'm okay.
Apart from the GPO, this is the last remaining fragment of 18th century Sackville Street.
Oh.
In that century, the street presented a completely different face to the O'Connell Street of today. At that time, there were unified facades of elegant brick houses with classical detailing on doorways, stone carvings and decorations and wrought iron. A reminder of the past history of this great street. But what's been happening since?
Yeah. Fast food restaurants, basically. Yeah, there's McDonald's. So, I should explain. O'Connell Street is basically one of the main streets of Dublin, and it is where you would do your Christmas shopping. All of the big brand name stores are there in different, there's shopping malls in it as well. But you would get most of the tourists would go there to get like Irish chocolate and Irish stuff and Irish clothes like Paco and stuff like that. O'Connell Street is basically where you would go do your Christmas shopping. For Dubliners, they would do most of their shopping there. Like clothes shopping, but grocery shopping, no. But they would do most of their clothes shopping there and stuff like that, yeah. But
the shop fronts of O'Connell Street win no prizes for design. Many of them are cheap, plastic and have no craftsmanship. On the other hand, one of the best buildings on O'Connell Street is in fact modelled on Selfridges in London.
Yeah.
Cleary's is really a modern building in classical dress.
I should have mentioned. Well, O'Connell Street. Sorry, I got confused. O'Connell Street is the main street of Dublin, and honestly, there's not much in it. Even Cleary's shut down there during 2008 crash. It's only recently in the last year. It was took over by a company. It's redone. It's lovely now, but there is a couple of new shops in it, and then there's a coffee shop upstairs. The main street is just full of O'Connell Street is just. I'm getting the streets mixed up. O'Connell Street is just full of, like, there's a cinema, there's Burger King and that, and there's just basically it's just gift shops. It's just loads of gift shops.
The 20th century technology of concrete and steel is used for the structure. The classical columns and carving, exactly as in Selfridges in London, aim to create an image of high quality for the store.
Can't wait to go into this, actually.
If, as pedestrians, we really look above the street
level... It's expensive, though. That's why people don't really...
Itself. Instead of the often cheap details, the upper floors of the buildings exhibit an astonishing exuberance of architectural sculpture.
Grafton Street. Oh, hello, puppy. My dog just walked in. Hang on. Sorry, I'm thinking of Grafton Street. That's where all of you would do your Christmas shopping. O'Connell Street is just the main road through Dublin. And like I said, there's not a lot in it. There's a spike now, and there's a few, statues and stuff. And there's St. Patrick's Cathedral, I think. Anyway, people can correct me in the comments.
The expert art of designing a street corner is very evident in O'Connell Street. The corner is treated as a positive element, creating a focus on the change from one street to the other and doing it with style. All the architectural tricks of the past are used: decorations, interesting shapes and carvings. Above all, the skyline is...
That's the Heineken building now. Heineken took that over, and there's a big Heineken sign at the side of it.
Celebrated. This is how not to design a corner. A modern building that has not learned from the past.
I think that's just a shop now. What is that now?
This is a building which has learned from the past and is only just over 50 years old. A few steps down from O'Connell Street is this intriguing little building. It's the Italianate Church of St. Thomas in Cahill Street. And the space in front of it could actually be in Rome or in Amsterdam. And it surely deserves a better fate than being used as an untidy bicycle park.
Bearing in mind, bear in mind, all of this has been cleaned up since. Dublin does look a lot better now. Again, I'm not sure about the music.
Interesting feature of O'Connell Street is the number of outdoor monuments and sculpture down the centre of the street.
Yeah.
The Parnell Monument has two interesting American connections. The sculptor Augustus Saint Gaudens was an Irishman, but only just, since he left Ireland when he was 6 months old. The architect was Henry Bacon, who designed the Lincoln Memorial in Washington.
So, wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
And Jim Larkin, a dramatic piece of recent sculpture.
Yeah, that's...
The greatest monument of all is, of course, that of the Liberator himself, who gives his name to the street. The sculpture is by John Henry Foley, the most important Irish sculptor of the 19th century.
Still there.
And since the fall of Nelson, this is surely O'Connell Street's landmark.
So, when the British controlled Ireland, there was Nelson's column in the middle of in the middle of O'Connell Street. Now it was a Lord Nelson. It wasn't like Nelson Mandela. It was a general. What was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's where that used to stand. And then there was the floozy and the jacuzzi, as we call it. It was basically a big statue of a woman, naked woman, in like a bathtub. And they got rid of that and they put up the spike. A lot of people give out about that. Yeah. So we're moving. So we're moving on to 1987. 94-year-old woman still driving.
Fast driving that kills, but defective cars and dangerous drivers. Irish speed limits were reduced in 1979 to save fuel in the oil crisis, and now the Department of the Environment proposes to increase them to bring us on a par.
See the way the roads did get better. See, we started off in 1980, and when the roads were really bad, the roads did get better in the 80s. Anyway, I digress.
They propose a general increase from 55 miles an hour to 62. A study by An Forrest Forbaha now says the lower limit wasn't any safer. The Naas dual carriageway.
It is. They've actually lowered the speed limits now, and they are saving lives.
It's to be made a special case. A limit of 75 miles an hour or 120 kilometres. The department wants all new limits in kilometres as well as miles from now on. But perhaps the most controversial is the maximum speed for heavy trucks, 40 miles to 50.
I would prefer the heavy trucks to go slower rather than faster on the roads.
Well, I would agree with the new speed limit. Certainly agree with the new speed limit.
Well, the speed limit has been broken anyway, so I don't think it's going to make any difference.
The speed limits, I think we should be allowed to go faster, particularly out on the dual carriageways, and I also think that Irish drivers could learn to drive a bit better.
But see, you have to remember too, this was before they implemented driving licenses. Well, they had driving licenses, but this is before they made sure that you had to have driving tests, and so many hours of training. Yeah. So back then you could just apply for your driving license and you got it. That was it. There was no driving test. Now there are obviously tests.
An old lady who's driving well enough to get her licence renewed today was Mrs. Mary Murray of Sandymount in Dublin, just days before her 94th birthday.
Fair play to her.
So when did she start to drive?
When I was 68.
And why did you leave it that long?
Well, I rode a bicycle always. My son arrived with a car at the door, and he said, "You and Dad can't keep riding bicycles anymore." And I said, "Don't be damned. I couldn't learn to drive." He said, "You'll have to learn."
What do you think of the way Irish people drive?
They're very inconsiderate when they see an old lady driving, when she doesn't drive fast enough for them. You know, they blow the horn, but I still take no notes out of them.
I'm sorry, she does not look like she's 94. That's unreal.
Just go at my own pace.
Well, now, you know that the Minister has proposed to increase the speed limit from 55 to 62 miles an hour in some areas, and on the motorways even faster. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think much of it, especially for my age group anyway. There's no fear that I will start driving 60 miles an hour.
Mrs. Murray, has your doctor no opinion on you driving at that stage?
Doctor knows about my driving. I have to get my driving license every year to go to the doctor. He said to me, "Now, you're not to be driving at night." And I said, "If I go out during the day and it gets dark, what do I do?" He said, "You walk home."
And will you?
And I said, "That's what you think."
Hi guys, me again. Just again, quick little video just to remind you to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm not being sponsored by anybody. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. So liking and subscribing will grow my channel and really help me out. Thank you very much. So we're still in Dublin, but this is 1987 now. Still 1987. We're still in Dublin, but we're going back to the travellers that were in Dublin. So when people think of Ireland, this is kind of what they think of. They think we're all still driving around in horses and carts and stuff like that. Absolutely ridiculous. Not even travellers really go around horse and carts anymore, really. But anyway.
Great now here
growing up here in Fashion Mansion. I still love Fashion Mansion.
From a place which was rapidly turning into Pittsville, you now have a new community spirit. I mean, people are actually anxious and willing to get out and improve the image of the area. I think we've been the underdog for long enough, and we've been the whipping boy for the press and the media for long enough.
She looked at the camera and she said that. See, this is what I mean. Like, this is what Americans, foreigners think of Ireland. This is Ireland. You know, it's not. This kind of ended in the 90s, I would say. I think they're selling coal or vegetables or anything at all, really. So by hearing that noise, they've obviously took out the music, which is good for us, so we don't get copyright. So these guys are doing, I think they're pigeon calling, and they're selling sticks.
was built in 1949.
These guys are
Today, about 2,000 people live in the 369 flat complex, including a high proportion of single-parent families.
Just put on subtitles for you guys.
Unemployment statistics are staggering. On average, 75% are jobless. Among young people, unemployment is almost total.
Wow.
Lily Anderson was one of the first occupants of the flats when they were opened in the 40s.
Well, I come up here when I was 12 years of age, and I was here up to the time I got married in 1956. Then I went to Birmingham in England, and I come back in the flats in 1974. As I always said, if I had children, I'd bring them back to the environment that I was used to. And my children are delighted that they're back here in Fatima Mansions.
Lily is the chairperson of the Fatima Mansions Development Group, set up in 1982 to tackle the massive problems facing the community. The group hopes to reverse the trend of neglect and decay in the flats since the 1960s.
Well, the corporation neglected us for an awful long time. Like, when the caretakers was taken out of the flats, everything went down. There was nobody controlling the flats or anything like that. So everything, kids going vandalising, things like that, which they didn't mean to do because they had nothing else to do. There was nothing going here for anybody in Fatima Mansions.
So, there's still kind of like a problem with teenagers sometimes, but like, sure, that's everywhere. No, there is like outreach programs now, and there's even like hubs for teenagers to go to like, you know, better spend their time.
At their worst, I don't think you could have got much worse. You know, I mean, there was an enormous drugs problem. The lack of maintenance provided by Dublin Corporation was deplorable, and it was turning slowly into Pittsville. You know,
there's still a drugs problem in Dublin. A recent report came out that it has a cocaine problem. So, if you follow me on Twitter and on TikTok, I talk about news. World news every Monday and Friday, and I always talk about the drug problem, drug busts in Ireland, and she go on, you know, if you have a Twitter account or TikTok, go and follow me there, and the
drugs
I talk
problem
about
was,
this problem.
I mean, it was devastating, the effect it had on the flats. It wasn't so much that we had actual junkies or drug addicts living in the area, and of course we had an amount. Our problem was much more with pushers and people from outside areas coming in to buy the drugs, then using the stairways or the open areas as shooting galleries and leaving the needles lying around that children could actually go along and pick them up. So it was actually dealing with the pushers that we got rid of the drugs problem in Fatima.
Great.
Could it happen again?
There's always a possibility that drugs will come back into the flats, but we now
well, I
have
don't know
a
about
concerned
Fatima,
parents committee who will be there ready to tackle it if it does arise again, and will be there to actually get the people out and motivate them into taking action again.
That's why he's playing football. There's a lot of places like this now in Ireland. Even my hometown, there's like a little football area for the kids to go and play.
The
in.
anti-drugs campaign had a significant spin-off effect. It mobilised other community activity to produce a remarkably effective development group. The group is campaigning for better facilities for all the occupants of the flats, young and old.
We had no play area here in the flats, and the tenants of Fatima Mansions marched to City Hall. They realised nowhere for the children to play, so we went down, but if we did, we only got four swings, a slide, a monkey puzzle, and a flat football pitch for 15 blocks in the flat, which wasn't enough. And now we've achieved we've a football pitch, a great football pitch over there. It's going to be a play area, landscape and a parkway for the old people.
We're talking about privatising Fatima Mansions in that you're eliminating the wide open 14 block complex that you have now and cutting them down into 2 blocks of private little areas which will have their own courtyard. And in the courtyard there will be a play area for the children. There will be there'll be much more.
We'll just skip it along a little bit. Just carrying the pack.
But the community didn't stop there. The development group spawned the development co-op, which aims to run more community businesses like this laundrette.
Yes.
It's staffed by resident Joan Murphy. What kind of backing does it get from Fatima?
There's still a lot of laundrettes around, and there's actually just washing machine. There's actually like in petrol stations now, there's just like 2 washing machines and a dryer, and yeah, people love using them. Like they're so handy. They only cost like a couple of euro. I think it's like €5 or something, or €4 for a wash. Like, you know.
Residents.
Good sport in the winter time. In the summer, no. That's why we're hoping for the hotels and the guest houses.
Like €8 for a
That's how we got a van now on the road, and we collect and deliver. We bought an iron now, and we'll iron sheets and pillowcases for guest houses and hotels that they need the finished product, you know. The housewife will iron their own, they're not going to pay extra to get them ironed, you know.
The laundrette is the first of a series of planned community.
It's a story of a friend of mine, actually. He works in an office, and he used to go into the laundrette, you know, with his shirts, and it would cost, it cost nearly a tenner each to, you know, wash them and, you know, iron them and all that. He figured out, actually, if he went into a second-hand shop with his shirts, he could buy the shirts back for €5. So it was half the price. And then he would always have a different shirt. He would always, every week he would go in, buy 5 shirts. I think he still does it. He buys 5 shirts, he leaves 5 shirts, and that's like, but he does different ones, like, you know, so it's not the same second-hand shop. But anyway.
Projects, but future schemes may founder because of insurance problems.
Silly,
the laundrette is insured under a community development scheme coordinated by the National Social Service.
But you have to remember too, like back then, a lot of people didn't have washing machines or dryers. Now we do. You know, obviously, you know, most people have a washing machine in the house.
Services Board. The next step was to be a co-op shop selling fresh food.
Yeah.
But the shop won't qualify for the same reduced insurance premiums because it's regarded as a commercial venture.
So yeah, co-ops they're great in Ireland, and obviously there's still a lot of kitchens, you know, for the homeless and that, and the handout bags of shopping and that for the homeless too. So this is a bit lighter. This is a snake loose at large in Donegal in 1988. I'll try and see if I can get a video from like 1990 or 1989 just to kind of wrap it up.
Subversives and smugglers are the 2 most regular groups of foes that Gardaí here in Ballyshannon, County Donegal, must combat.
Oh, Ballyshannon.
But now they have a new adversary. This particular customer is about 5 foot, of South American origin.
Oh no.
And is proving to be a very slippery enemy indeed.
Where's St. Patrick when you need him?
On Sunday night last, the woman who owns this house near Ballyshannon town centre got more than she bargained for when she went to bring in turf.
Oh no.
She spotted a boa constrictor snake wriggling among the sods. Fortunately, she had worked abroad as a nurse and came across snakes before.
Well, I come out for turf.
I'm the snake.
And I was here, you know, more or less. And he put up his head there, just like that. And he gave me a look and said, get away from here. So I stood my ground and I filled my bag of the turf and I edged away.
And what size was he, or what colour was he?
He was quite big. He was a sort of greenish, brownish head. Quite big. Nice thickness, you know.
Well, do you think, has he gone now?
Well, I can't see him just sitting around there waiting for things to happen because it's, you know, not pleasant now. We've had a lot of rain. I have a feeling he went that away. And today I bought some minced steak.
Right.
And I put it, there's a hole in there, in under that grass cuttings, and I thought it'd be nice and warm in there for him. I put some minced steak in there.
So he could be heading for a dance in Donegal for the
Well, he
weekend?
could be in there first, having a snooze, and then tonight, maybe, who knows, he'll head for Donegal and have a whale of a time.
The boa constrictor first came to Ballyshannon 2 years ago. It had been purchased in Belfast Zoo for hotelier and matchmaker Jim White.
Oh my God.
While under the care of a local man, the snake went missing.
The snake went
However,
missing.
Sunday night's episode at Mrs. Luke's home was the first time Gardaí learned about the whole affair.
I was speaking to Ron Willis from the Dublin Zoo.
They didn't report it. They just didn't report this missing snake. Gosh, it's gone.
And he tells me that the snake is not poisonous and it's not harmful to any human being.
No, but a dog.
I know
Could
you
eat your
carry all
dog.
sorts of
Or
equipment
your cat.
as part of your regular detail here that Gardaí would have handcuffs, etc. What are you using in this case? Would it be handcuffs or nets or what?
Well, hopefully if he is sighted, we will be able to contact this local man on the spot and that he will do the necessary apprehension in this case. Or apprehend in this case.
So you're keeping the details of the equipment secret up till then?
Indeed we are.
Okay, I couldn't find a video from like 1989 or 1990, but that's okay. We're going to end this episode with Miss Ireland Contest 1986, because why not? And yeah, let's have some fun.
The young women who enter these contests are following glittering prizes: a car, foreign holidays, a wardrobe you wouldn't dream of, and a possible career in modelling. Not to mention the chance of a world title.
I'm just hoping that this doesn't get DMCA'd. I can't put on the subtitles. There's no subtitles for this video. I don't know why. So hopefully you can able to hear it. I think it's just generic 70s music. Oh no, it's not. It's actual popular. So this video we watched, I'm just gonna phrase it. Dublin drinking in public. I think we watched this. We watched this video in my last video of drinking habits in Ireland through the 70s, from 1970 to 1980. So you can go ahead and watch that if you want. But that's I'm going to end the video here. thanks all so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out my channel. Check out my previous videos. I review Topps football cards every Monday, retro cards every Wednesday, and Match Attack cards every Friday on my shorts. I review football cards sometimes too, like boxes. I do opening boxes. I'm also reviewing movies now. I'm going to review movies from 2025. I'm going to keep up this series as well of reviewing old news programs from Ireland from back in the day, and try and patch together like stuff like, drinking habits of Ireland, living conditions in Ireland. I think that's kind of what this episode will be called, like stuff like that, like stuff I can put together and kind of get a feel for what Ireland was like back in the day. I'll probably do the 90s next. I can't wait to do that. I'll have better memories of that because I actually lived through the 90s. But yeah, so like and subscribe, check out my channel, check out favorite and share the videos and comment, and everything helps the algorithm. I'm only a few subscribers away from 700. I'd like to get to 1,000 pretty soon too, but if we get to 700, that'd be great. Thanks very much. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.